Hey everyone, it's Will, GamerDad, with another video for you. So while we're all waiting for Chapter 4 of the Mythos side quests, and of course waiting for AS Rosetta's banner, I'm doing some farming of course to get the required materials and also sparkles in order to upgrade some of those new Eastern gear and weapons. However, in today's video, I'd like to discuss a few thoughts about Another Eden's gacha system, as well as my opinions on how best to utilize your hard-earned Chronos stones. Now this will be from the viewpoint of a free-to-play account, however, hopefully even those of you who spend real money can get something useful out of it. As a free-to-play, you will never get every 5-star unit in the game, and it's really important for us to remember that. We all know that the developers have to make money on this amazing game and use the gacha mechanic in order to do so. If we were able to get everything for free, no one would spend real money. This is the harsh reality that we have to face and accept if we choose not to spend cash. So, where does it leave us? We still want to have very many powerful units and build some of the top DPS teams in the game. While we don't get a large amount of Chronos stones to summon frequently, the game does give us many mechanics to earn, upgrade, or otherwise acquire powerful units. For example, we all have access to story characters. Now to be fair, a lot of them aren't great now with power creep, such as our hero Aldo, but some are still very useful, and a few are extremely powerful and comparable to top gacha units. For example, you can't argue that Deidre is a top tier Earth/DPS in the game, and she fits on many players' top DPS teams. Other good or great units are AS Garyu, Mana, Jade, and etc. We haven't even talked about the collab characters. Keep in mind that when they release those collabs, the free 5 stars that you can earn have similar power levels to the current meta, both in global as well as Japan, so that they are relevant when they come out. For example, the tails of units, which were released recently, used either individually or as a team, are crazy good for free units. I mean, Slash Zone, you've got Cress, he can be used for 1-turn AF kills, and Yuri and the rest of them are no slouches either. Which comes back to, this game does give you free zone setters, which is quite generous of them. Of course, most of these require tough battles to earn them, but the reward is worth the effort. And in the case of Crest, I mean, you only have to play through the chapters, so that's relatively straightforward to get as well. Now, let's discuss other options to get the most use out of your current gacha roster without additional Chronos stones unless you want to. As a free-to-play, I highly advise to rely on these options first if you can before summoning further, since Chronos stones for us are extremely hard to come by, as we all well know. Most of these options allow you to upgrade and make your current team more powerful and stay relevant as well. Firstly, let's talk about Manifest and Personal weapons. They are available for many story and gadget units and make them much more powerful. In some cases, they turn a mediocre or long-forgotten 5-star into a viable unit on your top teams. So, make sure you do all the Manifest battles that are available to you when you get either a new 5-star in the gacha system, or even some of them in the side stories or the main story quests. Remember, you get 150 Chronos stones and extra weapons for achievements by beating both Manifest battles. Also, keep in mind that some of the best units are only that way because of their Manifest weapons. For example, one of my newest additions, Felmina, without her Poison Lily personal weapon, that weapon allows her to do 3 to 4 times her damage compared to without, especially given the fact it can be a guaranteed pain and poison setter, and so on and so forth. Next, why don't we talk about 4-star AS units? Specifically, we are talking about units like AS Foreign, AS Seal, and AS Nikkei, although there are a few other ones as well. They come as natural 4-star units and are pretty easy to hit in your summons compared to 4.5-star units. So I would imagine that as a free-to-play, most of you would have some, if not all of these units. Now, there are 2 ways to get the 5-star AS version. You can firstly summon directly on their respective banner to try to hit the 5-star AS, or you can choose to grind 5 chants and 5 of their specific treatises in order to upgrade them. feel free to check my Back to Basics videos on who to spend chants and treatises on, as well as other relevant videos. And I'll leave the link to that one below, but feel free to search through that playlist. Anyways, back to this particular topic. Now, from a free-to-play standpoint, we never recommend summoning on these types of AS banners. The reason is simple. Since you will most likely already have their 4-star form, all you need is time, patience, and unfortunately, some work and RNG in order to get them to a 5-star. I've mentioned this in the past, but in general, especially if you have max reward lines, especially in Garrelia dungeons, and run all your keys daily, as well as buy keys every week using Sabirus gems, you will most likely get the required materials for one AS unit within 3 to 6 months. That also means that you have to run dungeons that drop chants and treatises, so most of the episode or collaboration dungeons aren't the best for this purpose. Remember that, for example, the Tales of, as well as the P5 dungeons do not have any chance of getting chants, although they do have chance of getting treatises in the reward lines. To put it in perspective, on average it takes about 3k stones to get a random 5-star. So, if you use 3k to summon AS Seal, and I don't, I will still have 3k stones in my pocket to summon for someone else down the road like Yukino. And remember that eventually I will also have AS Seal, just not right away, probably 3 to 6 months down the road. So, eventually, I will essentially have an extra 5-star compared to me summoning on that banner. If you keep summoning on these types of banners, the 4-star AS versions, over time, those who don't will have more 5-stars on their roster. And who doesn't want more stones to spend on their waifus and husbandos? On a similar note, this applies to all banners where you already have any form of the featured unit, whether it is an AS form, like the upcoming AS Rosetta banner, or the basic 5-star banner where you already have the 4.5. Again, from a free play standpoint, it's best to hold off and not summon on these banners. The reason for that is that you'll eventually have the materials to upgrade or sidegrade them within a few months. So, again, if you spend 3k stones here, that's 3k stones that you can't put towards a new banner and hopefully get a new 5-star featured unit. So, as a summary, if you do need to summon on an AS banner, like AS Rosetta for example, hitting any form of her, whether it is a 4.5 or the OG/natural style 5-star, is a win for the free-to-play count, since you have unlocked all forms of her once you grind out the materials. This means that with some patience and time, no additional Chronos stones are needed to get all their forms. As a free-to-play, you have to understand that you won't always get the newest units right away. Sometimes you'll off-banner a 5-star much later, like for example, I hit the 4-star Iska just a few months ago. Or you need to wait a few months to get that last chant and treatise, and I understand that this is very frustrating. Sometimes you have to wait many months, and of course, treatises are extremely hard to get from time to time. You get the wrong junky ones, and we all know the frustrations of that. But if you can be patient and follow these suggestions, you will make the best use of your Chronos stones. For example, I finally got my last Mellow Diva treatise this week. That is for AS Seal, of course. AS Seal came out around 6 months ago. But now, I can choose to get him if I want to, and eventually I definitely will. I'm not going to upgrade him just yet, because I'll be summoning on the next few banners, and if I off-banner him, that will be a waste of 5 chants and treatises, of course. Also, as a free-to-play, you will always be short on chant scripts, because that is our main way to upgrade our roster. People who spend money, whether or not you're a minnow or use Star Dreams, or obviously, people who spend even more than that, even whales, they can save chants, and they probably don't require many chants, since essentially they can keep summoning until they get the 5-star version, but free-to-plays cannot do that. So, plan wisely on your current and future upgrading targets. Don't just upgrade a unit because, just because, since now you might not be able to afford another needed unit. Even for myself, I haven't upgraded all possible units on my team since I know I'll be spending some of those chance on future units that have not been released, such as AS Mizuki, AS Yuen, AS Leclerc, or AS Miyu. I mean, I actually have a 4-star Bertrand, 4-star Yuna. There's a few actually pretty good characters that I've delayed on upgrading for now. Keep in mind, those future units will cost 20 chance right there for the 4 of them, and I'll take those over upgrading units such as, for example, AS Ruina or AS Akane at this point. Last thing I wanted to say. With the current Grasta system, including the new featured future Guerrilla Grasta, you can make even mediocre teams and units perform like all-stars. You'll be able to do more DPS and beat more difficult content with the right Grasta setup. And this may actually allow you to keep up with current count, beat some of the super bosses, for example, and allow you to delay upgrading or summoning on some of these current banners. That will allow you to save your stones for even more powerful characters in the future, since with most games, including Another Eden, there is a little bit of power creep as the game continues on. So, in conclusion, the current gadget system in Another Eden is a bit stingy. I mean, we don't get more than 1,500 Chronos stones in a month, and that only really allows 1 to 1.5 temples in each month. But that's in part because the game gives you many different methods to enhance your team and acquire more 5 stars without using as many Chronos stones. My friend and I actually both use these methods extensively to build the teams we have today. He's actually focused more on a Pierce team, and of course part of this is due to RNG, since he did try on Radius, for example, with 14k, and he missed on that. For myself, I've been more fortunate in hitting some of those Slash team users, and so I've been able to build a very good Slash team. Likewise, I have not lucked into a Yukino, and he does have, for example, Yukino, he will have AS Seal, and we both obviously have AS4. And so, using our current resources and obviously planning, depending on the RNG in our account, we can focus on building what makes each of our teams strong. Hopefully, you can use some of these suggestions and optimize your Chronos Stone use and maximize your teams. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.